Hi everyone. In this session, I want to go over the top 10 email marketing metrics that matter for your business. Because as you're building an email list, you'll want to know what you should be tracking in order to continually grow your list. So these are the metrics, and some of them are actually in MailChimp, and then others you will need to calculate, but they're all quite simple to find out. Number one is the open rate. How many people are opening your emails will affect your open rate. So a good benchmark is to aim for 20 to 30%. And then actually in the advertising and marketing industry, 10 to 20% is quite good. So if you have a strong engaged list, it might be possible to average 50% on your campaigns, just like my list. And to improve your rate, try adjusting your headline or content value to appeal more to your subscribers. You can also improve your list by removing any of the unengaged email addresses. And you'll want to first try to see if you can get them entertained. But if you can't, then maybe removing them would help with your rate. Then focus more on education rather than selling to nurture your list effectively. If you try to help people, you will get your open rate higher. But definitely the subject line is something that you should really consider in order to improve. And I'll have that in my resources section to kind of figure out what subject lines can really work for your email campaigns. Next one is the click-through rate. So when people click on links in your email, the number of people who click out of your total list will be creating that click-through rate for you. Nowadays, a 10 to 20% rate is quite successful. Of course, if you got even 5%, I think that's pretty good. But 10 to 20% is very successful. And to improve click-throughs, make it easy to find your links in the email by adjusting colors and adding buttons. Your call to action should be really quite simple. So the link should be easy to click on mobile devices as well, because we are moving to a mobile world. So that's really critical. Sometimes the number of links is not as effective as having one clear call to action. So experiment. See what works for your campaigns. The hard bounce rate. This is when you send an email to an address that is no longer valid. You'll have a hard bounce rate as a result. Ensure that these emails are removed from your list immediately. Some email marketing providers will do this for you already, just like MailChimp. The soft bounce rate. If someone's inbox is full and they receive your email, you will receive a soft bounce. This metric is not as concerning as the hard bounce rate, but do keep it in mind if the rate goes beyond 3 to 5%. Revenue per email. When sending out an email, you should track any purchase behavior that results from your actions. Revenue per email associates your campaign with transaction to determine if your campaign is profitable. Marketers should be tracking this to determine whether their efforts were a success. So you can set up e-commerce tracking in MailChimp there so that you can find out what's going on with your purchase behavior. Your forward rate. This is when people share your email by forwarding it to others. This metric increases as a result. You can add links in the email message to make it easier for forwarding and sharing. Social media share links can also increase the rate depending on provider. Your unsubscribe rate. This is when someone decides to leave your list and your unsubscribe rate increases. However, we want to see this number decrease. If your list has been untouched in a while, you may have a higher rate in your initial campaign. You'll see this drop with improved sending frequency and relevancy with your emails. So are you segmenting your emails depending on your prospect interests? Like that will have an impact. Make sure you're sending the right content. Your churn rate. Churn is calculated by taking into consideration opt-outs, hard bounces, and complaints. This is an important growth metric for email marketers, as 25% of people will leave lists yearly, requiring replenishment to keep lists growing. Your growth rate, opposite to churn rate, this metric is calculated by considering the number of new subscribers added to your list. You'll want to be growing at a healthy rate to ensure your campaign is a success. Overall return. Determine the overall ROI on your email marketing campaign by reviewing total campaign sales minus campaign send. Marketers should aim for a positive ROI every time. And if you have a lot of organic traffic to your site and you have nurture campaigns and automation built in, your campaign spend might actually be quite low. If anything, it might be zero. So consider that as a possibility, depending on how you're directing traffic to your site. But if it's organic traffic, then you could very well have a really positive ROI. And this is why email marketing is the number one channel for marketers, because it does bring in more ROI than any other marketing channel. That's it. Thanks for checking out these metrics.